Broadcasting from the confines of an abandoned radio station in the secluded apartment building on the foothills of the Colorado Rockies. Time for full disclosure of the topics they told us were off limits. Hello there, I'm Connie Willis. This is Coast to Coast AM. Tonight, mind control and alien abduction therapy. Classic Coast. Time now, turn off those lights. Join me for another interesting evening of conversation, much needed education, and the chance that we might get a little closer to the truth of what lurks amongst us and, what is beyond. I'm Connie Willis, and this is Coast to Coast AM. You are listening to Coast AM. Hello there. Happy Sunday to you. Connie Willis here. Seems like it's been a while. I've taken a couple days off, kind of, sort of. I think actually was the last time we talked with George Norrie doing the part-timer, or was there something in between? There might have been. That's what it's been kind of crazy for me. I have been putting some things together, so if you ever want to find me and my show, I'd love for you to do it. You can go to ConnieWillis.com. My shows are called Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, and that's Earth Talk, Earth's Most Interesting Conversations. I'll just explain it to you real quick. Within that show, they are paid memberships. We keep the haters out that way. We have fun. We go deep into all the similarities of Bigfoot and UFOs, aliens, remote viewing, psychic mediumship, hauntings, you name it, we do it, and we are not 101. We go deep into it. If you're still like on the fringe, we're not there arguing if it's real or not. We're talking about it and learning and going deeper. So if you're into that, join me, because our feature show as well is called Creepy Hotspots, and once a month we go somewhere with activity, live expedition, whether it's a haunting all night long or Bigfoot. And the last time that we went, I was up in the Rockies with a cop, and not only did that cop see a Bigfoot, but we had a whole lot of other activity going on, a whole lot. Sparkles in the woods, crazy things, lights moving around, beams of them, and a big handprint of a huge handprint on the side of the vehicle in the dirt. And always keep your vehicles off-road and keep them dirty so that you can get those handprints. It was huge. And we also had like this sheep Pyrenees, I guess it is, that was zooming around and chased something out from where the vehicle was faster than you could ever imagine. Any bigger animal would have probably jumped back at that dog, or at least you would have heard them running. No, you didn't hear that. It was something that if you're interested in, go to my site and learn about it. Join, become a Blue Rocker. Also, there's Connie After Dark. It's Have a Drink with Me. That's always fun, and what goes on there stays there. And I have something new coming up. It's a project I've been working on really, really hard and for a while here. It is going to be a course, and those of you that have been interested in making some good money, maybe consistent money, maybe big money, and you're also pretty familiar with your subconscious, I think you're going to like that course. So if you're going, hey, man, that sounds like something I might be interested in. It's a course. So check it out. Just go to my website. You'll find it all. ConnieWillis.com. ConnieWillis.com. You'll see it. And if you haven't signed up for my email list, don't keep signing up for it. You signed up 20 times. Don't do that. Just sign up once and you're in. But sign up for a show. That's all I'm going to do when you join the email list, to say, hey, sign up, here's the shows. So save yourself some time and go ahead and sign up for a show, and you'll see where it's special discounts as well. And hopefully with some of these upcoming events, we got a creepy hotspot on the way, so join, and we can maybe do a Where's Willis? We haven't done that with George Norrie in a while. It's always fun. It's always fun to call in. All right, so, wow, what's going on tonight? Well, later on, we're going to be talking about alien abductions and the therapy that goes along with it, and that Hunter is going to be joining us. So she's on deck for tonight's featured guest. And then right now, our first guest is someone that he calls in a lot. He calls in to George Norrie. He's called in way back with Art Bell. He calls in with everybody along the way, and he's called in with me. And you guys all know his name because you've heard him call in, Eric the Mind Control Guy. Now, when Eric is called in, he's always had something interesting. I mean, he's Eric the Mind Control Guy, right? Great name, works, specific, to the point. And whenever he's called in, he's been very articulate. He's been very straightforward. He's still got, he's got a personality as well. He can laugh. He can be serious. And that just caught my attention because you'll hear him on and he'll call in and ask questions or something like that or make some sort of comment. But I haven't heard him for long periods of time. And apparently nobody else really has either. This is the first time he's gone on with his stories. But we all know a piece of him. So tonight, we're going to bring him on. If you guys remember, it wasn't too long ago. I was listening to him, and I said, hey, give me a call. Let's talk more about this at one point when we, weren't taking many calls from people. So that is tonight. So the thing with Eric is he's the mind control guy, right? That's really all he has to say. Now, I'm going to say this about that. And I know he can hear me right now, so we don't want to bring him on yet. I just want to say a few things. I know that this stuff can get really, really out there. And a lot of people can handle it. Some people say they understand it. Some people agree that they've gone through the same thing. Other people will agree that they know other people have gone through the same thing. And some of you are going to think it's totally crazy, nuts, and get this guy off. Now, I'm asking you to do what we do in this business. We let other people tell their stories. They tell their experiences. You can go with it and believe it or not believe it or just hear it. I would recommend to do what we do as hosts and broadcasters. We listen to the stories. We listen to the story. We're not making it up. We're not claiming it. We're not endorsing it. We're listening to the story, whether it's yours or someone else's. And it's always good to do that because you never know if what they're saying is spot on, and you might run into that situation yourself. And this way you're going to know what to do or what's happening. But let's go back to like alien things. Let's go back to Bigfoot things. Let's go back to ghosty things. When people have told you their stories, and you don't believe it, well, just relax. Aren't you here with an open mind to listen and learn? Okay, so open up, listen, and you never know if you might come into that same situation. I know that there's been times where people have told me things and I was, okay, all right, okay. And then, this was a long time ago, and then the things that they told me I had seen later myself. So it's better to be prepared and also go, oh my gosh, that's what Tim told me last week, and make sure you go back to Tim and say, I saw it too, if these types of things happen, or if that rings a bell. It's good to give each other feedback. It's good to hear others have seen the same things or experienced the same things. So, give that respect here too. So this is going to be an interesting evening. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Eric that maybe you don't know. So we know it's not his real name, but that's the name he goes by. That's what he wants to go by. He doesn't want to talk about his real name. That's up to him. Eric the Mind Control Guy, which, by the way, he is setting up a Facebook page because he had tried to do this once before, couldn't make it happen. I believe what was happening maybe was he was doing it with a profile, and now they can, you can put in a name other than your real name, right, in a group or a page or something like that. So he's putting that together so he can post things. So I think you might be able to go there now. I think we have it listed on the website, so you can go there. But I think he's trying to work it. I think he's trying to work it where you can just also look up that with the Facebook URL, and the Eric, the Mind Control Guy, is added in there. I think kind of messed up with his with another Facebook page there. So anyway, he'll work on that. But all you got to look for if you want to learn more, and he's going to start posting, is Eric, the Mind Control Guy. So he was born and raised in Ventura County, California. And I want you to listen to how I tell you the bio that he sent me, okay, because when we bring on people, right, we introduce them, we talk about who they are with their bio. You can also the biography, you can also look in the website, right, and you know, coasttocoastam.com, and you can see that. So I'm just going to read this out to you, and I want you to kind of, you know, listen to this too, because I think it's important. So when he sent it to me, this was it. Was born and raised in Ventura County, California, as a veteran that served in the U.S. Army, got his CDL, and has been driving steady since. He was stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina in 1984, and the claims, quote, they went to work on me in June of 1984, end quote. He goes on to say the name of the overall project he was under was called MARS, and that's the capital M.A.R.S. It stood for Mind Altering Research Study. Remember, he's writing this to me. The name of the, quote, sadistic doctor, end quote, as he calls him. I'm the one who put in the secondary of, is that right? Right, what it is? It's first, then second. So I made it more his, like he. But when he originally wrote it, it was I, as he calls him, that ran the project. And that project was, again, the sadistic doctor that ran the project was Dr. Gorman. He's, quote, I hate to even say his name, end quote. He has been described as the twisted of the twisted when it comes to mind control doctors. After the fallout of the legendary MK Ultra projects, Mars was classified due to his understanding at level 4 above top secret and is still closely guarded today. Now, that's just his bio, right? And my point is on that bio, besides interesting, is that it's detailed. Pretty detailed, isn't it? You know, it's got Fort Bragg, North Carolina, in 1984. They went to work on me in June of 1984. The overall project was called MARS. It stood for Mind Altering Research Study. The name of the sadistic doctor, as he calls him, who ran the project was Dr. Gorman. I hate to say his name, you know, talking about the legendary MK Ultra project. MARS was classified at level 4 above top secret and is still closely guarded today. He's got details. He's not just throwing out stuff. So let's see what he's going to talk to us tonight as a first-time guest and many-time caller. Eric, the mind control guy, welcome to Coast to Coast.
Connie.
Eric!
This is Eric, the mind control guy. How's everybody doing tonight? See, if I didn't say that, they wouldn't know it was really me.
That's right. That's right. Do it again, because everybody knows that signature. Go for it.
Connie! This is Eric, the mind control guy. How's everybody tonight?
And you know, Eric, I mean, some of the things I was saying, I know you know holds true, because there's some people, I don't know why people would ever want to fake this kind of thing, but some people do. And some people have part of it, and maybe they have been in it, but you are very articulate with it. You have a great memory from it. You can go into detail about what you remember. And that's one of my questions. Why is that? Because didn't they do things to make sure you didn't remember?
Oh, absolutely. The whole time it was going on, and for years later, after I got out, I never knew that any of this happened. And over the years, when I did start getting my memory back, and I got it back 20 years after it all began, and I've pretty much discovered just by my own experiences and by talking to other people that with some folks, their technology and their techniques they do, sometimes it only lasts so long. And with other folks, unfortunate, these people were very, very unfortunate. Their techniques didn't work on them. And some of these guys would come to in the middle of some sadistic, twisted experiment. And because their body and their mind was filled with all that mind-altering junk, whatever it was they gave us, I never did learn what the actual name of the stuff was. But, last thing they knew, they were at the barracks or they're at the bar or something. And next thing you know, they wake up and they're like, what the heck is this? And to them, it was real. And some of the ways they did this, like they could do it in virtual reality, or because the name of the doctor, like I said, I don't even like to say his name, just because what it does to me, it's just like somebody who was in an abusive relationship or extremely abusive childhood, and the individual that did these horrible things to them, they don't even like to say their name.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And that's what it did to me. There's another word that we used to refer to him as that I can't say on the radio, so
thank you.
I'll just refer to him as Dr. Dirtbag.
Okay. Let me ask you. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. I want to ask you though. What you're saying is very similar to like it's something we're going to talk about later tonight, where abductees with aliens claim that they'll wake up in the middle of something and they'll see this stuff going on to them on the ship where they're getting poked and probed and whatever is happening. So you're kind of saying the same thing. I'm just wondering, it sounds almost like you guys have been put out with the same thing the ETs have been put out with the abductees. I wonder if that's one and the same and transfer technology or what. So the people that have done this stuff to you and that were in charge of all this, were they human? Was it a ET thing too, or what?
These folks that worked on us, they had been psychiatrists, and it kind of reminds me of one of the scenes from the movie Conspiracy Theory with Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson, and the fellow that played the CIA doctor, he was called Dr. Jonas. He was the same guy that was in the Star Trek movie. And anyway, when Julia Roberts was talking to him, she said, I didn't know the CIA had psychiatrists. And he said the words, were very specialized. Oh, yeah. Specialized, I think that was just another word for saying twisted. Twisted, sadistic, because the things that they did in the legendary MK Ultra project were, they were sticking needles underneath people's fingernails and stuff like that and give them such excruciating pain that they would pass out. But they would give these guys some kind of, what they would term a cocktail, but it was some kind of drug they had that would prevent them from passing out. And so they would either die or split off into another personality. And so when we had these people with multiple personalities, in all their years of doing their testing and all this, they got pretty good with what they could do with people, making people go do things, and the people were completely unaware that it was going on. However, what happens is even though consciously you don't know what you're doing or what you're involved with, your senses, your eyes, your ears, and all your senses, they're still recording all this and putting it in your memory bank. And a lot of times what happens is later on you have something happen in your life that jogs that memory loose. And then you just get a flood of memories like what happened to me. Sometimes I would get a couple, sometimes I would get a couple, say a dozen or two right in a row. The very first one I remember having as far as flashbacks goes in 2004 was a lady I was living with that time. I was sleeping, and she ended up having to wake me up from my sleep, so I was just going, just crazy. And what that particular memory was they had these tubes. They were pretty big metal tubes, say 4 inches in diameter, about 3 foot long, and they had us laying down in these boxes, and the tube was filled with live spiders, and they dumped it on us. And I remember seeing Dirtbag's face, and he had what I would refer to as a typical, extremely sinister, mad scientist laugh whenever he'd do something. And he just had that twisted face, when he would do this. And she had to wake me up, and she's like, "What the heck's wrong?" I said, "I don't know." And I didn't know where that was coming. And then over a period of time, I had contacted someone I've known my whole life, and they used to work for the Department of Defense. And
hold that thought, Erica. Erica. Sorry. I know another Eric and Erica. Sorry about that, Eric. So hang in there with the rest of your story and more to come. We're going to get deeper into the other things that he saw, what happened, and what he knew of some other buddies that he had there too. Stay with us. Connie Willis here with you. It is Eric the Mind Control Guy, me, and more to come here on Coast to Coast AM.